Well, thank you very much for being here, and this is very exciting for me. I know so many people that are in your church and the Latter-day Saints. The job you've done is beyond anything you can think of. In 180 countries, taking care of people the way you take care of people, and the respect that you have all over the world. I would love you to, while the media's here, just say a couple of words of what we just discussed, all of the care and all of the giving that you've done, and to help people, in particular poor people, would be a great thing, and perhaps they will transmit that to different parts of this country and the world. It's so brilliant to hear it. Such a great honor. Such a great honor. Oh, Mr. President, welcome. Nice to see you. Yes. Very good. Thank you. Nice to see you. Did they like it? They enjoyed it? They got treated well? That wasn't the greatest. They actually thought it was fine. They said no big deal. Oh, you folks have been, and the state has been. And I just gave at least 10% back if we make a check direct. But he was fantastic. Helicopter. Very, very well known.
We sent, was it 200 truckloads of emergency food and those kind of things to help the people there.
Street. For Central Store. Yes. Central Store is our bishop, senior bishop. The one here next door is one single building with 540,000.
Let's get I think I have to put a hairnet on, right?
Come on outside. Let's get a picture. Come on.
Selfie again. Sorry, my phone's slow.
Got it?
Service missionaries that serve here 2 or 3 days a week, but they actually help people.
Good stuff.
Add a 5-pound bag of potato starter.
These, right?
Yep.
We're very proud of you. Really proud of you, Toby. And I fully understand that you do is like everybody else. Thank you, sir. You're doing a good job.
You know, if you go out and you want to buy groceries, you need a picture on a card. You need ID. You go out and you want to buy anything, you need ID and you need your picture.
Travis Wayne Goodsall. It's the final day of the week for the church news videos. And these are the kinds of things that Mormons and ex-Mormons are concerned with. We have an ex-Mormon who was so certain that the church was true, and now he's become a white supremacist gang leader. Why, guys? Why? When Bruce Willis shaved his head, all Mormons did it. Then the church came out and condemned Mormon priesthood holders for shaving their head. And then Mormon priesthood holders used as their justification excuse, well, we donated it to people who have cancer. Yeah, sure you did. Sure you did. Way to cover up an R-rated movie you watched in secret. Those of us who watch R-rated movies and are not ashamed know what you're up to. And then we have a Mormon who still, after 4 years, is just obsessed with this. This really shook up the church. The church is offending everybody on purpose to see who will remain loyal after the blatant, obvious truth that the church is false. Who's on Lucifer's side, who? Now is the time to choose. He asks impatiently. That's how I spent my years in primary. And then Weird Al Yankovic came out in the 80s. Hilarious. So, they're just deeply concerned that the living prophet of Jesus would cave to the medical science to get vaccinated. Seriously. And if you don't remember the news back then, it's because YouTube banned those videos of mine. Dear God. It is a federal crime to impersonate medical doctors, YouTube. You are not the authority. But any excuse to ban my videos, silence my views, silence my voice. But, yeah, it's like they don't bother to study the church. They don't follow the living prophet of Jesus. They have no clue what's going on in the bigger picture. And so when something seems to go contrary to what they demand that the prophets do, they now think he's a progressive. You dumbass. And he's got 3 guys on a panel discussing his concerns. What is Nelson doing? Protecting us from a virus? What? We're supposed to infect everybody and make it survival of the fittest. And because we follow the word of wisdom. Yeah, no. My mother went and died. And it's unclear. She had other health problems of pre-existing nature, but she was being treated by medical doctors. And so it's unclear, because my dad was in worse health than her, and he's still not dead yet. Anyway. And so, yeah, the concern is that Nelson, after the vaccinations were rolled out, that the church, by setting an example, finally, to get all of the apostles, all 15 of them, with their shots, as 3 of the tail enders all got infected, and then Holland would get infected after saying that porn is equivalent to getting COVID. Or was it watching porn? Which is it? You know, the biggest denouncers are usually the ones involved with the biggest of scandals. Seems to be how it is. He does protest too much. Is he doing it? And again, same with R-rated movies. All of those priesthood holders, oh, R-rated movies, yeah, bad, we should ban them. Yes, dear, I'll go on the picket line with you. Sure, dear, okay. Sad but true. And so, yeah, they're deeply concerned because Fox News were the ones pushing this, as well as Trump, because they circulate the stories among themselves to keep it going. And so if you didn't know, the state of Utah is MAGA red. All MAGA red. You have Governor Cox, who's trying to defend the Trump staffer who shoved one of the Arlington staffers. And now trying to claim that it was the Arlington people who were the ones responsible. They've got it on tape, guys. They've got it on tape. So when the FBI comes out and says, we've seen the tapes, Trump's staffer was the one who started it. And yet you got Cox saying, I was there, Trump was innocent. Staffer didn't do it. And then you got the other guy who was there because of his son buried at Arlington. And again, he's defending Trump. This is Mormons. And they follow the Book of Mormon on this. Those of you who have been following me for a while know exactly which scripture I'm going to be referring to. And those of you who don't, prepare for a shock. Mormons are obedient to the Book of Mormon. Helaman, chapter 6, starting in verse 21. I'm not going to be able to read it. I'm busting up too much. So you can look it up for yourselves. I'm verse 24. And so the bigger picture of this is apparently he missed Fox 13 News Utah's coverage of this. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, thanks to the whistleblower in 2019, the church then was forced to expose to the public their stock portfolio of Ensign Peak Advisors for tithing. And so Fox 13 News Utah in 2021, after the first year of COVID, came out and reported that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints made mega bucks where everyone else suffered financially. The church profited on the stock market when everyone else lost money on the stock market. I did the videos when a church was purging their stocks. I told you the church is purging their stocks. And sure enough, buy low, sell high. And so, yeah, the church profited off of this. And so when the vaccines came out, there were only a few who got approval. And was it Pfizer and Moderna? Those were the two that made it big time. The Moderna one was by a black woman. So, yeah, the church doesn't have stock in Moderna. Not racist since 1978, when Jesus said, I don't want to be a racist anymore. But we're still not putting Amazing Grace in our hymn book. And we're still not calling a black man to be an apostle. But we're not racist. Not since 1978. And so, if you checked the listing of stocks from the SEC disclosure, you would see Pfizer in there, among some others that were also trying to get theirs out, as it was a race. A race. And so, yes, this is similar to war profiteering, where you invest in both sides of the war, such as supplying weaponry to both sides so that both sides are paying you. That kind of thing. And so this is exactly what the church has been doing. And if he would understand this simple little process about how to be a multi-trillionaire, he would understand and not have a faith crisis. Because that's what this is. He's having a faith crisis. And he's trying to work with these three guys to try to figure out how the church can still be true. Oh no! What do we do? How do we explain and justify this? Dumbasses, all. Dear God. And so, yes, the church continued to profit on the stock market, as the stocks for those vaccine companies began to skyrocket, because everybody's buying their vaccines. Oh my God. And so, yeah, at first it was the government that was paying for them, wasn't it? But still, the government is doing the trickle-down economics of Reagan, giving corporations the money, and it's supposed to trickle down to the people, and it doesn't trickle down, it tinkles down as the people are peons. Tinkle down. Comes from the Brits. And so, yeah, that's why the church was pushing vaccines now. Now that everybody's infected, we've weeded out the weakest among us. Now they're saying, okay, go ahead, get your vaccines. We've already made the money off of it. Dear God, guys. Sensitive snowflakes all. Sensitive snowflakes all. So, I did the video because somebody had sent me a notification, and I wasn't sure if it was church-wide, if it was just that particular ward, and so I didn't want to disclose too much of the information to reveal which ward it was, because it might go back and expose the person. And yet, the church is now publicly announcing it in the church news today. How to print? Seriously? You don't have a print icon for people to click on? Or do they think you're really that stupid? your church donor statement for tithing declaration. It's your new ID to buy and sell in the state of Utah. All of them begin with the number 666. And you have to know the history of this church. When credit cards were first created, with the slide thing for your credit card and the carbon paper thing, the church was resistant. They were sure this was the sign of Revelation 13 of the devil, and we can't get involved. And so the church was behind the rest of the nation in rolling out credit card approvals. That was the reason among the apostles. They had to be the ones to make that official okay. And there were some who were saying, nope, this is the devil's handiwork. Oh, dear God. And so it looks like they've changed. Yeah, interesting. Tithing slips have changed. So let's see what we got here. Well, it's shorter. They don't have the long list of stuff anymore, and they cut off the small print. We can do whatever we want with the money, launder it into whatever other account we want. And if we want to build the City Creek Mall with other funding, fine. We can do whatever we want. Leave us alone. Religious freedom. So, now, membership record number and 666. Yep, they're covering it up. It's blurred. So that you don't see. I know this church oh too well. The first 3 digits and the remaining ones. And if you think that I'm just being hyperbolous, that this isn't going to be the way it is in Zion. Oh, dear God, where have you been? Do I need to go over it yet again? Because you're all new. Because YouTube only allows a couple of people for each video to be new. The Way to Perfection, pages 290 and 291. You have to know about 1838's Mormon War, incorrectly named. It's the Danite War. The Danites caused it. In Adam, Ondi, Ammon. And Thomas B. Marsh is the one who exposed the Danites by doing his affidavit to Governor Boggs, for which he then signed the extermination order of Mormons rather than the Danites, because the Danites told Thomas B. Marsh, and for some reason he believed them, that Joseph Smith was the leader of the Danites. And that Joseph Smith was making all of those changes. So go through your Doctrine and Covenants, look for the ones that were supposedly in 1838. Wow, they go against the Book of Mormon. Weird. Joseph Smith went against the Book of Mormon in 1838. He completely flipped a switch. He's now the enemy. He's now a bad guy. Huh, weird. But this church says he's a living prophet of Jesus, founded this church of Jesus Christ. Book of Mormon is another testament of Jesus Christ, but it's null and void now because Joseph Smith can change whatever he wants to change. And so this is where Joseph Fielding Smith is getting this from. He was converted by Heber C. Kimball and turned into a full-blown Danite. Just like George Reynolds. Anybody remember that video I did? It's been a couple of weeks. It was last month, wasn't it? Something like that. And so, it's all about the Danites here, not Joseph Smith. Remember, section 116, check the date. Oh. Wasn't by Joseph Smith, it's by the Danites. And so, in the Adam on Diamond Council, Jesus is going to take over the government. Huh? Of the church, right? The United States. O Babylon, we bid thee farewell. We're going to the mountains of Ephraim to dwell. Who's Babylon? And so, that's why Bruce R. McConkie did not decode Babylon in section 1, verse 16. Because he's not going to be able to get away with it. The United States is heathen, godless creatures of the devil. So it's a little tough when you include verses 14 and 15 into the mix. Yeah, Babylon is you, Bruce. You're a part of that Babylon government religion. And so, he still is before Heber C. Kimball, or Heber J. Grant, in which Heber J. Grant changed this. Because Joseph Fielding Smith is saying that the government will be given to the saints in this council, after this council. Then shall he give the government to the saints of the Most High. No. Heber J. Grant said Mormons no longer have any authority to have decisions in the church or to vote for changes, such as the name of the church. Because Joseph Smith flipped a switch in 1838. And so, by the voice of the priesthood section, there will be a transfer of authority to assume the reins of government from the usurper and impostor Lucifer to the rightful king Jesus Christ. Now, if you understand that all of this is coding, this is not literally true for prophetic stuff. They refuse to prophesy. They say so themselves. We will not prophesy. And yet, there are these kinds of quotes where Mormons go, that's a prophecy. Have you ever heard of a conspiratorial plot? Yeah, you have it all planned out. Because if you're going to rob a bank, you're going to need to know where the cameras are. You're going to need to know how many security guards there are. You're going to need to know where the little button is that the cashier lady is going to press. So you need to know the response time of the police in the local area. And you got a whole thing that you've got to plan out. You can't just go in, rob the bank, and everything will be well in Zion. This is that playbook of crime. This is an insurrection. This is a coup of the government that they are plotting. That right there. This isn't Jesus. Joseph Smith tells us Jesus is an abomination. He is not real. Verse 19, 1838 history that didn't get published in 1838 because Joseph Smith was framed and blamed and locked up in Liberty Jail. Now go over verse 1. Give you a hint, the name of the church is wrong. Willard Richards put in Jesus. It got published in the Times and Seasons in 1842 without the name Jesus. Willard Richards put it in after Joseph was assassinated. Hey, Willard Richards was there with Joseph when he was assassinated. Why didn't the blackface mob, which get rewarded here in the high schools of Utah? Did you catch that news story? Oh my hell. It's just not racist since 1978. I tell you. Great and powerful is the Mormon Jesus. This is code. The Christ is the leader of the Danite church. So it was Brigham Young back in that day. And so now it's Nelson, because this is the latter days. But the prophets will never tell you, because they finish and say, the world will not know of this. The members of the church at large will not know of this. The saints cannot know of this. Shh. Don't tell, Travis. Verse 24. This is a coup. And so, this is so horrific that I just burst out laughing. Because this is section 119. Check the date. Joseph's is section 64 from Malachi. Dear God. And yeah, remember, those of you who've been following, I got the long list of crimes from just section 119. That's the Danites, the secret combination. They're criminals. They're terrorists. That's why there was an extermination order. What those Danites did was literally the most evil on the face of the earth, except for what they're planning for right now in the coming days. God. And so yes, this is what they're doing. This is their kingdom. You must have your ID to be in their kingdom. This is why I don't understand why Expo Nevermos who live in this valley are not scared, are not rioting and protesting. Well, mostly because the state of Utah considers you domestic terrorists if you protest. You have to go through the state and get a proper license, which means you have to pay the state to protest, and then you have to designate what you're protesting for, and so that the state can then say, okay, you're protesting the church? All right, we have a place for you way down south in St. George. The nuclear testing site south of Twilla. Go over there. Plenty of room for you there. And your First Amendment rights are preserved. don't believe that? Talk to the former mayor of Salt Lake City, who tried to run in the last election, lost to Mendenhall. She's the Mormon, so she won. She's married to a descendant of the Danites from that 1838 war. Right, Cox? Stewart, Curtis, Lee. I did the ledger. I know the names. Last year for 9/11, the day after Thanksgiving. And so yes, this is what they're doing. This is what the church has got going. This is why it's early. So that you will have your ID before it hits. And so they're expecting that the faithful will start immediately on September 1st. So that it'll overload and crash the program, and so that they'll have to go on the 2nd and the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th. Which is interesting because Sunday is the 1st, isn't it? Yeah. But it's online, so it's not considered work. Just pushing a button. No, that's not sufficient enough exertion to be counted as work. It's like pulling an ox out of the mire and then putting it back in again because you're giving the church your money as part of the extortion racket. If you push an ox in the mire, not a violation of the Sabbath. It's in the handbook. They just released editions for it. There are benefits from following the church news, or at least my videos. And so, yeah, finally we have Bednar. Now they're trying to do a compensation piece after my video of his integrity. No, it's strengthen your foundation in Jesus. There's no foundation. He doesn't exist. Oh my God. And Mormons should know this. We have the primary hymn. The wise man built his house upon the sand. And the floods came down and washed the Mormons out. That was on the 9th of Av. Now we got the baptism by fire coming. Oh dear God, guys, come on. They're trying to murder you. It's coming. The more horrific, the greater the laughter. Mormons know this because they know that Christianity is false. And so Christians don't have the sure foundation in Jesus of the Mormons. They know this, but they don't know how to apply it to them. It's the others. Oh dear God. And so, Nelson's big failure. Humiliations galore. Malachi makes it very clear that in the year of the day that shall burn as an oven on 9/11, Jesus was supposed to suddenly come to his temple. And it ended up having to be the Garden Temple, as the church had to quickly con the community of Christ for several $100 million, which is 0.1%, if not worse, of the total asset value of the church. They most likely came down in price, making her believe she's got 'em. But Nelson made it very clear. They'd been working on this for years. This wasn't just a one-time thing. They've been trying to negotiate getting it when they realized that the Salt Lake Temple was not going to get finished on time. Because when they came out at the end of 2018 and made their big announcement that they're renovating the temple so they can withstand the great earthquake, oops, happened in 2020. Bye-bye, horn. Bye-bye. And Mormons still miss the Exodus. Oh my God, Mormons. But they told us it was supposed to be finished for 2024. April conference. They were sure that despite I having figured out the first year of the latter days, that I would never figure out the last year of the latter days. I certainly don't know my scriptures. This is all going to be in secret. The Mormons can't know of it. Oh my God. And so, they've even got a YouTube video. And so, yeah, the plaza, it's all transformed. But the Salt Lake Temple and the two buildings, they're still under completion. I did see the last time, which was like last month or something like that. They finally got the windows up, the glass up in the buildings. But still, I mean, dear God, that was humiliating, Nelson. Because the Saturday session of conference was supposed to be the rededication of the Salt Lake Temple with the inverted pentagram of Lucifer on the doors. The keystone. Your big clue, Mormons. And oh, yep, yeah, they're showing the windows. They got the windows in. And so they were going to unveil also, along with the dedication, and I'm sure they were going to sing, "The Spirit of God like a fire is burning." Which only Danites in their journals in this valley said they saw the temple on fire. You need to know your source of who says something. They were not in there listening. They were apostates. Oh, dear God. And so, yeah, they've got all the flags of every single nation of the world that they now control. Like I said, The Way to Perfection, the affidavit of Thomas B. Marsh for the extermination order. That's what they're doing. And I can't get a single government leader, let alone mine, here in the United States, to listen to me. You know, you got Cozy Bear trying to hack me, and there's spies trying to pretend to be Mormon to attack me on YouTube, trying to steal my Paleo-Hebrew script research, when all they needed to do was ask me about their language, and I would have done it for them for free. But they can't do it. They have to steal. They were born to steal and commit crimes and be honeypots. Cute little honeypots. But still, dear God, guys, nobody is understanding the evil threat of this church. And so, yes, that's why they do it. They don't give a damn about other people's countries. They want Zion. All will bow the knee to them. And so, yes, the day that shall burn as an oven must happen so that that can happen. They that come shall burn. Not just Mormons, but the whole world. That's Joseph Smith's added warning to Malachi. The enemy is coming. They have got their plot in place. And what happened in 1838 is the pattern. So you're looking for election fraud, decertification of the election, war, and a coup. I wonder when it'll happen in America. It was the church. They did it. And I can't get my government to understand. The FBI will not allow me to upload documents and pictures and receipts and all the playbook. They just don't want to investigate. And so, yes, they've gotten busted because they don't investigate. Little kids are getting sexually abused because the FBI refuses to investigate. National treasure. Nicolas Cage warns the FBI, hey, somebody's going to try to steal the Declaration of Independence. Is it Bigfoot? Best line ever. Oh my God. All these years I've been covering the videos. The picture of the way to perfection has the death threat of the church. We've had it with you, Travis. Why won't you die? And thus I'm now here. As more people lost their jobs for failure. Right, Todd? Oh my God. I may not even get that DVD. It's not coming out till the end of the month. Oh my God. Whew. So, my hell. And so, yes. Then after the dedication, after the placement of Jesus on his throne, then we were supposed to have the day that shall burn as an oven when Jesus comes on that Monday. From outer space destroys the wicked. You're welcome. I saved you. And so, yeah, it's not going to be done until 36. They're not saying. They're not saying anymore. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't see it. It's an oasis from the storms and noise of chaos. Yeah, oh dear God. That's exactly like a mafia neighborhood. Oh dear God. New York mission. In the Bronx. McFarland knew a mobster. And we went and visited him. And while we were talking to him, because he is just on the other side of the Bronx, Mount something? Mount Vernon? I don't, it'd take too long to look it up. And so, yeah, it was made very clear. Bronx, war zone, third world country. Then you cross over into the mob territory, the mob neighborhood where the mob lives. You know, oh, you don't know. The Sopranos. The Godfather. No, you don't know that one either, huh? Rated R movies, you don't know those. Okay, whatever. You're not going to understand the church then. That's the whole point of scaring you away from R-rated movies. And so, yes, you see, it's just immaculate. Trimmed, clean, less traffic, peaceful. Just like Temple Square. And they have signs up saying, slow down for children. Don't want to kill a mob boss's child. And yeah, and so there's an attitude of superiority. That we are better than these third world people. Just like the Brits. Just like the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So yeah, no, it is not an oasis. It is a deception. It is whitewashed. Jesus is all about love and peace. Stay away from Matthew 23 then. Because that is white supremacist washing of Christian nationalism. Oh, dear God. And so, yep. And then they had 9th of Ave, for the rest of the nation, after the whole Temple Square thing would be destroyed, yeah, the church plans to destroy Temple Square for the sole purpose of claiming to be the victims of the Biden administration. You did not protect us. This was supposed to be in 2020, though. And so they wouldn't have to blame Trump. They'd just say, hey, Trump, can we get compensation for the damage caused to our Temple Square? Have you bribed me? Yeah, sure. Okay. Oh, you want the whole state of Utah? Okay, just make sure you vote for me. Yeah, that would have been a completely different scenario in 2020 if the church succeeded in 2020. But this April thing was going to be after the 2020 events that did take place, according to them. But they still failed to coup the government in that election. But it was a close one. And so now it's this year when they were supposed to have Jesus come and the Temple Square gets destroyed on Monday after the conference, because people are supposed to be furious that the church had Nelson get up and declare him as King of Kings, Lord of Lords. The state of Utah is now a sovereign nation, the Kingdom of Zion. And so thus people would go in and destroy it. And then the church would blame the Biden administration for not giving them their religious freedom rights for child bride polygamy that he also declared nationally or worldwide over the pulpit of that conference. And other such abominations. It was supposed to trigger that, and they failed, because they failed to finish. And Nelson fell on 9/11 last year. I did a whole countdown for it. Just like this year, I did a whole countdown for 9th of Av. Yes! Yes! Who's the prophet? And so, yeah, and then 9th of Av was supposed to be the nation gets attacked and destroyed, and so then the church gets their kingdom after the failure, and it's a backup plan. That's what it is. And so they failed. So now they're going to 9/11 as the other backup plan, and then if that fails, then the election, which is guaranteed for a bloodbath, whether Trump wins or loses. The church, if he wins, they've already got it set up with Project 2025 from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, through the Council for National Policy, through the Heritage Foundation. There's your connection of the dots. The transfer of the plot. I told you, I got it all. And so, yeah, it's not a surprise that Confederates and neo-Nazis were there at the riots. I mean, the vacation where they pooped on the walls. Oh, so I'll have to go. So I saw that I'm up at an hour of speaking, so we'll just end with this final thing. Amazon hid my package, and I couldn't find it when I searched for it earlier. And so one of the employees of the building found it for me. Yay, got my trash bags. I was thinking, somebody stole my trash bags? Why would somebody steal my trash bags? There's other stuff here that needs a trash bag. Anyway. And so, yeah, this is the whole thing. The church is the enemy. They want to murder you. They want their kingdom. They're setting it up for the memberships with the membership number. that you can buy and sell with your membership number. And if you don't have one because you're an apostate, anti-Mormon, antichrist, Korahor, you're out. This is how they're going to purge Utah with the final purge. They're doing it now. The Mormon who was concerned about vaccines with other Mormons in Utah over the years, as I'm getting comments saying, well, Nelson is becoming progressive. They're supporting building bridges with the LGBTQ community. They took away the veil from women. Allows them to wear slacks on their missions at the church. Priesthood meetings now available, no longer existing. They did away with it. It's just, why are Mormons so easily fooled? Oh my God. You're on your own, Mormons. You're on your own. I cannot help you. This church is going to win if you let them. And you do not want them to win as much as you think in your fantasy world of how the church should be under your little fantasies. But like the Mormons are getting their bubbles bursted because they don't understand the bigger picture. The church always is profiting. They're not burning, or they're not building bridges, they're burning them. Oaks in the handbook. You're out of the church. And now, boom, the temple declaration on the 1st, after the handbook of apostate LGBTQs. Out. You have to go see your bishop. Your bishop knows. He's got the power of discernment. You're not going to deceive a bishop. You're out. Only the best of the best of the best after September 1st. It's coming. I don't think I should put this at the beginning because I don't think you'll understand it. I didn't set it up right. And so, yeah, the homeless, yeah, they're being exterminated already, but because of their failure, this will solidify it. Getting their kingdom back, they're planning for a 9/11 event to get their kingdom back. And we're still waiting for Iran. Notice? Again, you're welcome. I was surprised. The FBI never listens to me. They did this one time. And then they don't want to listen anymore. Iran is still lurking, waiting. They know about 9/11. They were the first causation of it. Islam came from Babylon. The first 9/11 against the Jews. 9th Ave. So, and like I said, this valley, the highest per capita of Islamic centers. They've even got refugee places. Those who are immigrants, they've got places for you to go. They've got lawyer firms to help you become naturalized. You'd think that they're progressive here as a sanctuary city. Slavery! You have to work for the church. You're not getting it. Dear God. So yeah, it's now 5 o'clock. Went too long, I guess. Because it'll be 6 o'clock by the time this video finishes to upload. And then it'll take 30 minutes or so to get it up. Come on, guys. Won't anybody listen?